The respiratory system is a complex biological network within organisms. Its primary function is gas exchange, crucial for sustaining life. This system enables the intake of essential oxygen from the environment. Concurrently, it facilitates the release of carbon dioxide, a metabolic waste product. This exchange is vital for cellular respiration and maintaining overall biological functions. The upper respiratory tract serves as the initial pathway for air intake into the body. It is composed of key anatomical structures: the nose, pharynx, and larynx. This tract performs crucial functions, including filtering incoming air. It also warms and humidifies the air before it reaches the lungs for gas exchange. The nose and nasal cavity serve as the primary entry points for inhaled air into the respiratory system. These structures are equipped with specialized features to process the air before it reaches the lungs. Cilia, tiny hair-like projections, line the nasal passages. Mucus, a sticky substance, is also present within the nasal cavity. Together, cilia and mucus trap airborne particles and pathogens, purifying the inhaled air. The pharynx, commonly known as the throat, is a crucial muscular tube in the human anatomy. It extends from the posterior nasal cavity, continuing downwards. The pharynx terminates at the superior openings of both the larynx and the esophagus. It serves a dual function, acting as a shared pathway for the passage of both air and food. This anatomical structure is vital for both the respiratory and digestive systems. The larynx, commonly known as the voice box, is a crucial component of the respiratory system. It is primarily composed of cartilage, providing structural support and flexibility. Positioned at the top of the trachea, it serves as a passageway for air to and from the lung. Within the larynx are the vocal cords, which are folds of tissue. When air passes through the vocal cords, they vibrate, producing sound and enabling speech. The lower respiratory tract is a vital part of the human respiratory system. It includes key structures such as the trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. The lungs are also a central component of this tract. These structures are primarily responsible for gas, transport, and exchange within the body. The trachea, commonly known as the windpipe, is a vital component of the respiratory system. It is a robust tube extending from the larynx, serving as the primary airway to the lung. Its structure is reinforced by C-shaped cartilage rings, preventing collapse and ensuring an open passage. These cartilaginous rings provide essential structural support while allowing for flexibility. The trachea ultimately branches into two main bronchi, leading air into each lung. The trachea, or windpipe, serves as the primary airway for air entering the lung. It bifurcates, dividing into two main bronchi, each extending into one of the lungs. These main bronchi further branch into smaller secondary bronchi within each lung lobe. The secondary bronchi then divide into even smaller tertiary bronchi, forming a complex network. This intricate branching system efficiently distributes inhaled air throughout the entire pulmonary tissue. Bronchioles are the smallest airways within the respiratory system, branching from the bronchi. Unlike larger airways, bronchioles lack cartilage in their walls, making them more flexible. Their smooth muscle walls play a crucial role in regulating airflow to the alveoli. These muscles constrict or dilate as needed, controlling the amount of air reaching the gas exchange units. The lungs are a pair of spongy, air-filled organs, essential for respiration. They are symmetrically positioned on either side within the chest cavity. Each lung is encased within a protective membrane called the pleural cavity. As primary respiratory organs, the lungs facilitate gas exchange, vital for life. Alveoli are microscopic air sacs found at the terminal ends of the bronchioles within the lungs. These structures are numerous, numbering in the millions, providing a vast surface area for respiratory function. Their primary role is to facilitate the critical process of gas exchange within the respiratory system. Oxygen from inhaled air diffuses across the alveolar walls into the surrounding capillaries. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide from the bloodstream diffuses into the alveoli to be exhaled. Inhalation is an active physiological process, essential for breathing. It begins with the contraction and flattening of the diaphragm muscle. Simultaneously, external intercostal muscles pull the rib cage upwards and outwards. These actions collectively increase the volume of the thoracic cavity. This expansion creates negative pressure, drawing air into the lungs. Exhalation is primarily a passive physiological process, occurring without active muscle contraction. The diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards, while the intercostal muscles also relax. This relaxation decreases the volume of the thoracic cavity, reducing lung capacity. The pressure difference forces air out of the lungs, completing the exhalation cycle. Gas exchange, or external respiration, is a vital physiological process. It involves oxygen from inhaled air diffusing into the bloodstream. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses into the alveoli. This carbon dioxide is then expelled from the body during exhalation. Gas exchange in the lungs occurs across the alveolar capillary membrane. This vital physiological process is driven by differences in partial pressures of gases. Oxygen, for instance, moves from areas of high partial pressure to areas of low partial pressure in the alveoli. Oxygen partial pressure is high after inhalation. Conversely, the capillaries surrounding the alveoli have a lower oxygen partial pressure. This pressure gradient facilitates the diffusion of oxygen from alveoli into the bloodstream. Oxygen is vital for cellular respiration and overall body function. It enters the bloodstream primarily through the lungs during respiration. The main mechanism for oxygen transport is binding to hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein found within red blood cells. When oxygen binds to hemoglobin, it forms oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin then circulates, delivering oxygen to various tissues throughout the body. Carbon dioxide, a metabolic waste product, is transported in the blood through three primary mechanisms. A small portion of carbon dioxide dissolves directly into the blood plasma. Another fraction binds to hemoglobin within red blood cells, forming carbaminohemoglobin. The most significant amount is transported as bicarbonate ions, formed from CO2 and water. Breathing is an essential physiological process, primarily controlled by the nervous system. The respiratory center, located in the brainstem, is responsible for this regulation. Specifically, the medulla oblongata and pons within the brainstem coordinate breathing. These centers send neural signals to the respiratory muscles, controlling their contraction and relaxation. Central chemoreceptors are specialized sensory cells located within the medulla of the brainstem. These chemoreceptors are highly sensitive to changes in the pH level of the cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. CSF pH directly reflects the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood, specifically arterial PCO2. Variations in CSF pH trigger adjustments in breathing rate and depth to maintain physiological balance. Peripheral chemoreceptors are specialized sensory cells located in the carotid and aortic bodies. These receptors continuously monitor key chemical parameters within the bloodstream. They detect changes in blood oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, as well as pH. Signals are sent to the brainstem, which then adjusts respiration to maintain homeostasis. The respiratory system is equipped with a sophisticated air filtration mechanism. Inhaled air first encounters nasal hairs, which trap larger particles. Mucus lining the airways then captures smaller dust, pollen, and irritants. Cilia, tiny hair-like structures, rhythmically sweep this trapped debris upwards. This prevents harmful substances from reaching and damaging the delicate lung tissues. The upper respiratory tract plays a crucial role in conditioning inhaled air. As air enters, it is progressively warmed to match the body's core temperature. Simultaneously, the air undergoes humidification by the moist mucous membranes. This process ensures that the air reaching the lower airways is adequately warm and moist. This protective mechanism prevents damage from cold and dry air, safeguarding respiratory health. The larynx, commonly known as the voice box, is a vital organ located in the neck. It houses the vocal cords, which are crucial for the production of sound and speech. Vocalization begins when air from the lungs passes through the larynx. As air flows, it causes the vocal cords to vibrate rapidly. These vibrations generate sound waves, which are then modified to form distinct sounds. This intricate process enables humans to communicate through spoken language and various vocal expression. The sense of smell, or olfaction, is a crucial sensory function in humans and animals. It begins with specialized olfactory receptors located within the nasal cavity. These receptors are responsible for detecting airborne chemical molecules, known as odorants. When odorants enter the nasal cavity, they bind to specific receptor sites. This binding triggers electrical signals that are transmitted to the brain for interpretation. Olfaction significantly contributes to the perception of flavors by interacting with taste sensations. The respiratory and circulatory systems work in close conjunction within the body. The lungs, part of the respiratory system, are responsible for oxygenating the blood. The heart then pumps this oxygenated blood throughout the entire body. This ensures oxygen delivery to all cells and the removal of carbon dioxide.